All right, for 5 through 8, or maybe 5 through 10, I forget which, we're still dividing polynomials, but this time we're using something called synthetic division. We're using synthetic division. And the nice thing about synthetic division, it's just a quick little process. It's like a little mathematical trick that will allow us to divide a polynomial of any size with a binomial. Okay? Has to be straight up binomial, x plus something, x minus something. Which is very convenient in a lot of ways. So here's basically the pattern. You're going to start off, you're going to drop the first coefficient, and then you're going to multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. You just keep following that pattern until you are done. Okay? You keep following that pattern until you are done. So you drop the first coefficient, then you multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So let's talk about how to set it up. For this, we only need the coefficients. So for this big quadratic right here, not quadratic, it's actually a cubic, we just need the coefficients. So the coefficients are, well, this one's a 1. So we have 1, then 4, then 6, then 4. And I'm going to draw a line like this. Kind of like the box it in. And then we need the one from here, and all we need is the 2 in the back. So just take the 2, but flip your sign, and I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to make it a -2. It is very important that you have to flip the sign on this one right here. If you don't flip that sign, you will get a wrong answer. Okay? So we set it up, and now we just drop the first coefficient, then multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So we're going to drop the first coefficient down. So we'll put a 1. And then we multiply it by the number out front. So 1 times -2 is -2. And then we add. 4 times -2, 4 plus -2, I'm sorry, is +2. And that's the pattern. From here it's multiply, put it there, add. Multiply, put the next one, add. If you had to do it, multiply, put it there, add. Multiply, put it there, add. So we started with the 1. We dropped it. Then we multiply it by that number, put it here, add. Multiply, put it there, add. Multiply, put it there, add. We're going to keep going. And if it was further than that, we'd keep going if there was numbers out there until we are done. All right, so from here, 2 times -2 is -4. 6 plus -4 is again 2. 2 times -2 out front is -4. And then drop it down. 4 plus -4 is 0. Ooh, wrong color. All right. So those are our new coefficients. The cool thing about this is this very last number over here is your remainder. So in this case, we have no remainder. And the ones in front of them are your x to the 0, x to the 1, and x to the 2. And if you keep going, x to the 3, x to the 4, so on and so forth. So you don't have to write that part down there. But what's going on, let me erase these, is we can now use those as our coefficients. So it's 1, x squared, so just x squared. 2, +2 to the x to the 1, so plus 2x. And then 2, x of 0 is just 1, so plus 2. So that is our answer right there. Now, the first time you see this, you're probably looking at going, what in God's name just happened? That did not seem simple. And I get it. You just kind of got to get used to the pattern and doing it, and you'll pick up on it really quick. Once you get it, and once it clicks, you'll burn through this real fast. Okay? So let's do another one, number 6. Number 6. We start off, we do the setup. So I'm going to take this number over here and flip it. So it becomes a +2. I'm going to draw my box. And they'll take the coefficients off of this one right here. which are 1, a negative 10, and a positive 2. And then we follow our pattern. Drop, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, until we're all done. So we'll drop the 1, multiply it by 2 to get 2. Negative 10 plus 2 is negative 8. Then multiply again. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. 2 minus 16, 2 plus negative 16, or 2 minus 16, that's the way you want to think about it, is negative 14. So in this case, we have a remainder. We have a remainder of 14. We'll show you how to do that. But this is still your x to the 0 right here. This is still your x to the 1. If we had another one over here, it would be an x squared. All right? So our answer is 1x minus 8. And since this one's negative right there, it'll be minus 14 over then my original x squared minus 10x plus 2. So this one didn't come out evenly, so the answer looks kind of ugly because of the remainder. But to get the 1x minus 8, which, come to think of it, you don't really have to write 1x last I checked. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase that. So it's 8 minus x minus 14 over x squared plus, and this part right here, what did I just do? Wrong thing. This part right here simply came from that right there, okay? So let's try another one. Let's keep on going. I don't want you to try the next one just on your own just yet because it's got a little bit of a trick to it that you got to just see once and you'll be good. All right, the next one. The next one's more of the same. The only difference is you notice how that there is an x cubed, but then there's no x squared, no x to the 1, none of that. Well, we need to fill in those two gaps. So don't forget about that. We got to fill in the gaps. So we'll start off, take what you're dividing by, flip the sign, so it's negative 3. And then we've got 2 as our first coefficient. Our next coefficient is 0 because it's 0x squareds. Next one's 0 because 0x's. And then we get a negative 54. Okay? So again, this is with my x cubed, my x squared, my single x, and then my units, my negative 54. And then drop it down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So drop down the 2. We'll start with 2. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 0 plus negative 6 is negative 6. Negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. 0 plus 18 is 18. 18 times negative 3, believe it or not, is actually negative 54, which gives us 0. Right? And again, follow the pattern. We just multiply, add. Multiply, put it there, add. Multiply, put it there, add. And got 0 as a remainder. So we'll pair these up. This is my x to the 0, this is my x to the 1, this is my x to the 2, which you don't have to write those little x's right there. So my answer is 2x squared minus 6x plus 18. So 2x cubed minus 54 divided by x plus 3 is that right there. All right, now 8 I do want you to try on your own. Take a second, try number 8 on your own, then come back and watch the video, okay? All right, hopefully you tried it on your own. If you didn't, shame on you. So let's burn through it. You started off by putting the 4 right there. If you didn't flip your sign, go back and fix it before you come and watch the rest. If you put a negative 4 there, go back and change it and redo it, see what you get. And then we'll fill everything in. This is a 2 to the 4th, negative 11x cubed, plus 11x squared, positive 11x squared, 4x, and I'm going to put a 0 right here for the last coefficient. Okay? Because we may or may not need it. We'll see. We shall see. All right, so here we go. Drop the 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. Negative 11 plus 8 is negative 3. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. 11 minus 12 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 4 is negative 4. Then 0 times 4 is 0. 0. So we have a remainder of la 0. No remainder at all. So And again, I put this in there so you remember that this is your x to the 0, so there is no units. X to the 1, x to the 2, x to the 3. I'm going to stop writing those. After this video, I'm not going to write those anymore, okay? So you just got to remember that. So here we go. 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 1x, which I don't need a 1 there, just an x. All right? And there you go.